There was once someone who did such amazing things and said such wonderful things that people had to ask who he really was. Once when they asked, he said, "I am the light." I see the love of God in you, the light of Christ comes shining through, and I am blessed to be with you, O holy child of God. The one that said, "I am the light," changed to be in all places at all times. You see this light? How it's just in one place? Let's change the light. Look, the light's changed. It's growing, becoming invisible, filling the room with the light of Christ. As you go about this room today, know that the light is there. And as you leave this room today, know that you take the light of Christ with you wherever you go. Now watch carefully. We're going to need the desert for this lesson. And watch carefully. This is today's lesson. The desert is a dangerous place. We don't have the whole desert here, but we do have a piece of it in our classroom today. The desert is a dangerous place. There's no food and no water in the desert. People die without food and water. Nothing grows there. So when the wind blows, the shape of the desert changes. The desert is a dangerous place. People do not go in there unless they have to. It takes courage to go into the desert. The people of God were living in a place where the rain did not come. The crops had no water, so they could not grow. There was no grain to grind, to make bread. Everyone was hungry. The children cried in their sleep, so their mothers and fathers decided to go to a new land where there was food. They had to go, even if it was across the desert. Their journey began. It was hard in the desert, but they kept going towards a land called Egypt. In the land of Egypt, the king was called a Pharaoh. When the people came into the land of Egypt, they found food and work, but the Pharaoh trapped them. They could not go home again. They had to do what the Pharaoh said. They had to live where the Pharaoh said. They had to get up when the Pharaoh said, and they had to go to bed when he said. They had to eat what he said, and they had to work when he said. They had to do everything the Pharaoh said. They were slaves. One of the people, whose name was Moses, came to the Pharaoh and said, "Let my people go." The Pharaoh said, "No." Moses went back many times to tell the Pharaoh to let his people go, but the Pharaoh said, "No." Then many strange things happened in the land, but the Pharaoh always said no. Then something terrible happened. The oldest boy in each Egyptian family, even in the family of the Pharaoh, died. The oldest boys in the families of the people of God did not die, because the people made a mark on the doors of their houses. They put the blood of the lamb there, and the angel of death passed over them. When Moses went back this time and said, "Let my people go," the Pharaoh said, "Yes." The people began to hurry to get everything ready. They packed all they could carry, and they baked bread for the journey. There was no time to put leaven in the bread to let it sit, so it would swell up and get big and fluffy like bread you buy in the store. It was flat. The people went as fast as they could. They were afraid the Pharaoh would change his mind. Suddenly, they heard the sounds of the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh's army was coming. The beating of the horses' hooves and the rolling of the chariots sounded like thunder. The army of the Pharaoh pushed the people against the water. God came so close to Moses, and Moses came so close to God that he knew how to take the people through the water into freedom. This one looks scared. He can barely move. This one is running. And this one seems happy but confused. When all the people were on the other side, the water closed behind them. And they were free. The army of Pharaoh could not get them. Now all the people were free on the other side. They were so happy just to give thanks to God. And Miriam led the dancing. I wonder what part of the story you like best. I wonder what freedom looked like. I wonder, is there any part of the story that we can take out and still have everything we need? I wonder where you see yourself in this story. wonder, will you think of this story today? Or maybe something else. But whatever you do, know that you take the light of Christ with you wherever you go.